Welcome back to the grid for race one, and the weather here is dismal to say the least. It's really, really wet. So 18 laps round here is going to be a tough call for these guys. Phil Bell, I'm on row 3 here. Phil Bell to the left of me, Andy Peach to the right. And as we move further through to the second row, as we get to the sharp end of the grid, that's really where the championship is all about. One surprise qualifier, though, third fastest in qualifier, the Ulsterman John Clark put in a really, really good performance. And the guy to the right of me, who is separated by 1 point from Barry James for second place in the championship, Scott Lorry, local man, obviously desperate to make good here. But the front row, you can keep going, nobody behind you, that's fine. It's wet. We've got our wet shoes on here as well, we need them. Pole position, of course, Tim Reeves and Greg Clues with a 44-point lead in the championship. But Barry James, he's right there on the front row. And when the lights change, that's what they got ahead of them. A very wet, spray-strewn rush down to the first downhill blind right-hander. It's going to be tough. 18 laps. Fantastic stuff awaits us. 18 laps round here is going to be about 18 minutes, we reckon. But of course, anything can happen. Not even a depleted grid, a full grid, 20 on the line, wait for the lights. When the lights go out, they go. It'll be a little under a minute each lap round here, and an awful lot. Look at the spray. It must have been, visibility was always going to be a problem, and it is now. Here they go then, dropping down into the newly named John Weir. Tim Reeves from the word go, out in front there. John Clark, he lost out a bit. Third on the grid, he's down there in 5th. Alongside me, Roger Boddy, who's watching this eagle-eyed. The conditions, Roger, can't be easy. Knock Hill, if it's going to be wet, it's going to be wet here, isn't it?
Absolutely terrible. I can tell you, these guys in 4th, 5th, they cannot see anything. The visors are right down on the fairings. It's just coming up into their visor. I've been there, it's awful, absolutely awful.
Well, this sits so low, of course, and Barry James in the number 3 Santander Salt outfit. You see the water running down in front of the camera. Just look at the conditions. Very tentative into the hairpin. Andy Peach running a little bit wide. He's had trouble all weekend getting that corner sorted out, but he's maintaining 3rd place, the number 4 white outfit. At the front, though, it's 1st and 3rd in the championship at the moment. 2 defeats at Brands Hatch for Tim Reeves and Greg Clues, but they say that they've got that Honda sorted now. They've persevered with the Pagets and indeed with Honda. There are some special parts coming, hopefully, for the World Championship round in Croatia. So Tim Reeves now a little bit more happy. Talk us through the start.
Just watch this. Andy cannot see anything. This is what he's getting on his visor. He doesn't even know when that bend's coming. You know, you're afraid somebody's going to hit you from the rear. It's absolutely awful.
Even worse in a way than the stuff we see on Formula One footage. There seems to be a bigger amount of spray, and of course they're much lower. Much
slower, and he's coming up off the fairing straight into the visor. That's the problem.
Race leader then, Tim Reeves, but Barry James, number 3, right on the back of it. That foot from Greg Clues being waved as he gets his weight at the hairpin right over the back wheel. Wet weather performance calls for a different passengering technique, of course. The driver's weight essentially has to be on the back wheel to give all the grip, all the traction under drive and braking. Right in saying, Roger, am I, that if he gets off the back wheel, a spin could result?
Yeah, you'll rarely see them go out for the left. They may stick their foot out, where that left there, he'd be right out for it. But in the wet conditions, they've got to stay with the back wheel. But, you know, look, both of them, both passengers, right on the back wheel, trying to give as much drive and weight to the back wheel as they can.
Well, the contrasting styles, of course, Tim Reeves from the Isle of Man as well, with a 4th and a 5th over there in the 2 Sidecar TT races. And Jamie Wynn, the passenger in the red outfit, also back from TT success. So no stranger to horrendous conditions and a difficult race circuit. Jamie Wynn and Barry James. Now we're riding with Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson on the number 4 L&W sponsored outfit. Again, the visibility, Scott Lorry and James Neve ahead of them. We're riding, looking back now from the local man. again, a big army of people here supporting him, but he moves ahead, up into third place then, Scott Lorry, wanting to put his mark on this on home soil for sure. Second place in the championship, but only 1 point, and the man who's trailing him by 1 point is ahead of him in this race, so that counts.
Yeah, I think this is going to be difficult for everybody. You can just see the look at the water there. Oh, and there's Clarkey in the wall.
Well, John Clark has run straight on at the hairpin. The sandbags coming out there, the barriers to protect them. There's nowhere they can go from that sand once they've beached it. Phil Bell and Ashley Hall's terrific ride from them so far. Good qualifying here at Knockhill. And he said to me earlier, he's never been off the front row at Knockhill in national racing. So to finish where he did in 5th was no surprise to him.
And Phil really likes his circuit. I don't know why, he just seems to... I think he lives up north, so I think he's done a lot of riding here in the past, you know.
Right, a rundown then. Number 72 outfit, Scott Lorry, James Neve, race leader. Timmy, oh, big spin, it's over. It's capsized and the rider's underneath it. Barry James underneath the outfit. They lost the back end. We were talking about the back end losing traction. Jamie Wynn.
Trapped underneath.
And the driver, Barry James, is trapped underneath, inside the capsule. That would be really scary, but he's on his feet. What a miracle.
These new we have some new chap building fairings, and they are all Kevlar, extremely strong. And you know, if that had been one of the old fairings we were riding 2 or 3 years ago, that would have been a lot worse.
Well, let's take a look then. Yeah, hits the curb, the back breaks away. Jamie Wynn's thrown off. It just pirouettes and pirouettes upside down. And Barry James's back is taking the weight of a 1000cc Suzuki LCR. We're going to have a 2-part race. The restart will be over 8 laps. Some of the crews complaining the visibility is poor. Who can blame them? Grid position exactly as they finished at the end of lap 5. So 8 laps then. It's all to play for again. Our understanding was a 2-part race, but we've literally just heard that this is it. It's an 8-lap dash. So conflicting information there from the organisers, but nonetheless, we're now underway. So this is the one that counts. Everything that happened before, sadly, it's without Barry James and Jamie Wynn, counts for nothing. This is what it's all about. 8 laps then. Here we go. Phil Bell, 4th this time. Young Ben Bygrave got a cracking start as well. We're without several runners actually in this one, so a little bit more depleted. The rate of attrition in the first half of this race, I call it the first half, or the first start, was quite high. Ben Holland there, Steve Kershaw, the number 29 outfit. Carl Parkinson, Darren Tritton riding number 2. So everybody pussyfooting their way around here, feeling their way in these very, very wet conditions. But second place then for Scott Lorry on the number 72 black outfit. He's got a point to prove. Doesn't want to let Reevesy get away too much. And look over the shoulder, time and time again. Roger, we see Tim Reeves glance over the left shoulder.
I think it's a bit of a habit he's gone into over the years, but, you know, usually he's got time on his hands. I think genuinely now he's worried about Scott. Scott knows his way around here, and with him in second place, I think, you know, he's just keen to see where Scott is.
Oh, a great move, an aggressive move by Phil Bell, number 8. Charged through, rammed Andy Peach out of the way. He said, thank you very much, third place is mine. But he went in a bit hot and ran wide. Let's take a look. Up the inside comes Phil Bell. You can see the back end breaking. He was lucky to keep it on the island.
Yeah, there's not many people do that to Andy, I tell you, especially in the wet. He was lucky to get away with it.
Well, a former Jock Taylor winner here in 2009, Phil Bell, so you're quite right, he does know his way round Knockhill. Race leader Tim Reeves, Greg Clues, but closing, you can see visibly. This is the battle for third though. Phil Bell, number 8, he's got Andy Peach this time. Andy Peach wriggling under braking there at the hairpin. They're coming down from 6th gear down to 2nd. They've got to stop it, turn it, point it and get it away and try and keep it on one very narrow strip of tarmac. Not easy.
No, not at all. And I think that corner there is one of the few corners in the world you seem to be able to go into it. Any angle, you can go in wide, you can come out narrow. A lot of overtaking there. Great corner, really, Sidecars.
Well, Phil Bell, Ashley Halls in 3rd place now here. Ahead of them, Scott Lorry, James Neve, right at the pointy end. it's Tim Reeves and Greg Clues drifting again. Phil Bell riding very aggressively here. The whole outfit going sideways. Ben Bygrave, number 74, Callum Lawson, in the background on the yellow and green outfit. There they are, so the youngsters going well. This is the battle at the front. Second place just going out of the picture. Third place, Phil Bell. Fourth place, number 4, Ben Bygrave. Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence, number 49. Then it's Ben Holland. So they're all bunched up. This is going to be a cracking race. 8 laps.
It's a great race. Also, I think we saw Phil Bell on those tyres. These Avon wets are extremely good tyres. We would not be achieving these sort of lap times, I'm sure, without the Avon wets. A good tyre, but I'm sure they're not going to be much good at the end of this race.
Well, Phil Bell was saying to me earlier that financial pressures might even cause him to miss the next round at Snetterton. Hugely expensive. We're talking about £1,000 for a set of tyres here. So a lot of money. So maybe if he can earn a few quid, that'll help, won't it?
I'm sure it will. I'm sure he'll be looking for some prize money, that's for sure. But yeah, the Avon wets are a great tyre, but extremely sticky. But of course they do wear out. You know, you can't have both. You can't have a good wear factor and a stickiness. It's just one or the other, I'm afraid.
Well, Tim Reeves then on his way to 25 points here in this short, sharp dash in the wet at Knockhill, but clearly behind him, Scott Lorry, who's gaining visibly, absolutely gaining visibly. Scott Lorry has got other ideas. A little sneaky slip there, a bit of a wiggle under braking. The foot trailing of Greg Clues on the left-hander there, as Roger said, just dangling a foot over the side, but most of the weight on the rear wheel, where it simply has to be. We saw what happened when they touched the curb. The whole thing will go sideways in a flash, and that is where Barry James ran into his big problem. Third now, consolidated third place for Phil Bell. Ashley Horse up to fourth. Ben Bygrave, Callum Lawson relegated to fifth. Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson. Right behind them, Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence, and then Ben Holland, Lee Watson, all waiting there to pick up the pieces. And in these conditions, anything can happen. This then the battle for third. Ben Bygrave, number 74. Callum Lawson right on the back. Charlie Richardson, leg in the air, the young man. So passengering is a young man's sport, I have to say. Having said that, they're going to try and entice me into one of these three-wheeled things at one of the rounds a bit further up the road. Here we go then, the battle for fifth. Side by side, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence. On the inside of Ben Holland, Lee Watson. The number 49 outfit having to settle then for second best. 2 cameras, you'll notice, on the wheel arch of the sidecar wheel arch of the green bike, one facing forwards and one facing back. Another thing, of course, Roger, when the platform gets slippery, how does the passenger keep his footing?
It's, again, really, really difficult. You know, they tape up all the wheel arch and try and stop some of the water coming in. It's just impossible. I mean, yeah, it's not quite as hard work as it is in a drive for the passenger, but you know, they can't see. It's still an awful situation.
And cold. It's cold.
And cold. And cold.
Yeah, it's cold here. Look at this then. Andy Peach now looking as though he might lose that place to a charging Ben Holland. Is up the inside. Now he's got to get the power down. Spinning though, spinning. He came out of the turn tightly. Is he going to be able to tuck on the inside going into the Seat curve? No. Andy Peach is fast down here. It'd be a brave man to go through on the inside there and keep it all together.
Yes, that corner comes in so quickly. Coming out of Seat, it's there. You know, you cannot drive in there quickly. So we saw, you know, earlier Barry James carrying too much speed there, and you know, we saw the consequence. Difficult bend, very difficult bend.
Yeah, when you are carrying too much speed, it's not easy. You can't really scrub it off. The thing just sails on, and they say that it goes even quicker when you get on the grass. That, of course, is an illusion, but nonetheless, it certainly feels that way. This is the battle, though. Now for fifth place, Ben Holland and Andy Peach side by side. This time, is the youngster going to make it stick? Can he outbrake Andy Peach, who's the late breaker of all time anyway? No, he can't, is the simple answer to that, but it's about as close as it gets. You can smell his aftershave. Over the top they go again. Can he come out of the slipstream? Slipstream, I hardly call it slipstream. Spray, I think, Roger?
Yeah. Again, you cannot come down the inside, and you see them all attempting to come over there on the inside and having to back off coming into the corner.
Seconds remain then in this 8-lap frantic dash, which constitutes the result for the first race here at Knockhill. We had the red flag because of the Barry James incident, so this is the leader on his way at the final turn. Tim Reeves, Greg Clues, with the climb up the hill, 4th, 5th gear, the checkered flag will be out. Right behind them, Scott Laurie and James Neve, who gave a valiant performance to finish in the runner-up spot. But the first race here at Knockhill goes to Tim Reeves, another solid 25 points. The scrap for 5th, though, is alive all the way to the wire. We've got a podium for Phil Bell in 3rd. Bygrave is ahead of this duo, and just behind them, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence. There it is then, a podium for number 8, Phil Bell and Ashley Hawes, the top 3. In your picture, Tim Reeves, the victor. Well, confirmation then of that thrilling 8-lapper in these very, very wet conditions. Reeves, Clues, Laurie, Neve, Bell, Hawes, there's your podium. Good ride by Ben Bygrave, Callum Lawson, Peach Richardson, Holland Watson. They were fighting all the way. Local lad Steve Kershaw with Rob Wilson 8th. The Irishman Clark finished in 9th. A result too for Gordon Shand, and David Rinn on his home-built outfit scored a couple of points. Phil Bell, Ashley Hawes, you finished off 2010 with a podium, and here you are again, 3rd place in difficult conditions, Phil.
Yeah, we made a bit of a poor start in the first start, and then managed to get, obviously with Barry going out, we managed to get another place up the grid and made a bit of a poor start again, but we got past Ben Bygrave, and then Andy Peach. We had a good race with him for a couple of laps, and then we just managed to pull a gap. It was a really enjoyable race. I was just starting to catch Scott, and then I made a mistake on the second off last lap, so I just settled for 3rd.
Ash, with rain everywhere, you must be slipping and sliding. Did you ever feel that, oh, I might let go?
No, not at all. My hands felt really warm, just holding on so tight. It was, no, it wasn't too bad, to be honest. It was more the vision than anything. I couldn't see a thing, so I just felt my way through, really. So, yeah, no, it's okay.
Well, I suppose if he moves offline so he can see, he puts you right in it.
Basically, yeah. So the spray's all on me, but yeah, I'll get behind him down the straight, and that's all I can see is back of his head, so, but yeah.
Well, that's handy. I mean, that's a good bag full of points, and that'll help your championship no end, won't it?
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a better... Hopefully it's dry tomorrow, and we're going to have a good run tomorrow. Just like to thank a couple of people that's out, well, a few people that's out with us, yeah. Bell Helmets, Scott Leathers.
J&J Motors, and Mark Winnie from Knox Back Protectors. They're brilliant.
Scott Laurie, James Neve, runner-up spot, but a lot going on out there.
I don't know, I couldn't really see. All I could see, other than spray, is a little red light, and that was the one I was following. So, hey, to come home second in my home track, I would have preferred to be first, but hey, second will do fine.
Yeah, I mean, home ground for him, and he said you're following a red light. What happens if the red light in front goes off in the gravel?
I couldn't even see a red light, so he could see more than what I can.
Seriously, though, did you find it hard round here, or was it over too quickly?
It's just over too quickly, really. He's just getting sort of settled into it and getting into a rhythm, and it was just, that was it, over. So, yeah, it was good to finish there.
Scott, did you see the Barry James incident that brought about the stoppage?
I didn't see it. We've seen the aftermath. We came round the bottom half of the circuit, and unfortunately Barry was on his roof, and the passenger was diving for cover. Unfortunate for Barry. Yeah, let's hope he's out tomorrow. Let's hope everything's repairable and he can take off again.
Well, yet again, top step of the podium, Tim Reeves, Gregory Clues. The conditions weren't exactly perfect, and you were shivering. He's already changed. How did he get the drop on you and manage to get his kit off?
You know what it's like, passengers now. You grabbed me, didn't you, before I had a chance to escape? But yeah, good race, wasn't it? Really, it was just a bit. It's fun in the rain, but it's just the only thing that you just get cold and wet through, and that's the only downside of it. It's good fun, all the skidding and sliding about, and it's racing it, which is what we're here for. So yeah, enjoyed it. I'm glad to get another 25 points, and unfortunate Barry had a bit of an incident, but hopefully they'll be all right, the boys, and hopefully they'll be back ready for tomorrow's race.
Greg, for you, when you're in the front, you can see clearly where everything is going, so it's just so easy, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit more easy, but the race is never easy. But I really enjoy this race, and I'm sorry for Barry Jensen and Jimmy Wynn, but it's the race, huh?
You race on international circuits all over the world. How does Knock Hill compare? Do you like the circuit?
Yeah, I like the circuit, but I prefer when it's dry. It's very fun circuit, short but fun. Yeah.
Well, a thrilling two-part race that turned out to be. The conditions, as I said at the start of the second half, could not have been worse. But for Phil Bell, he's made it onto the podium. A great race here. So please, we're going to take a short break. Don't go away. There's more to come in the third part.